This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hey there, it's Brian Sebastian, movie reviews and more. And if it's Tuesday, first of all, always Giving Tuesday, support those artists, those museums, those libraries. There's a lot of great things out there happening in the world that I just saw the last 9 days in 2 states. I did 5 events from the L.A.Art Show, the L.A. Fitness, this Consumer Electronics Show. Finished that one. I saw everything. I didn't make it to 2 hotels, but they were private meetings. But besides that, I did a lot of stuff. And a couple people were talking about you guys because they're like wondering, who are these people? Who's Linda Steele? Who's Howard? Who's Rachel? And I have to keep reminding them who they are because they just get little glimpses here and there. But that's a good thing. So we're broadcasting on Talk 4 TV, K4HD radio. Yes, there's always that audio side of things. We have to make sure that goes okay with everybody. And then this is a show number 187 live shows in a row, season 6, show number 8 in counting. So the good thing about all of that stuff is I'm in North Carolina for like 5 days before I go back on the road back to Vegas for maybe AVN. Maybe I'll show up there. We'll see. So the good thing about this, Howard is smiling, and I know why he's smiling because he's got a lot of good stuff he's got to say. Linda's posting things, and Terry just popped on. So nothing against women. Howard, you get to go first because you're in the right location for what you're doing. Tell them who you are, what's going on. Go ahead.
I'm Howard Wiggins Interior Design. I'm relaunching my interior design business in a big way. And this last week, I went to the Antique and Garden Show, and I had a photographer make pictures, and I posted the event on both Movies Review and more, and then on my Facebook page also. So I've got the big electric billboard downtown. That's getting a lot of action. So I would like people to go to my Facebook and make comments on it and share it and get the word out there because I'm ready to hit the big time. I want it bad.
You've always been in the big time. You've always been surrounded by it. So this is more your time.
I want bigger. I want to go out.
That's good.
The bigger, the better.
That's right.
Well, that's a good thing. All right, Terry, you're next. Go for it.
What does everyone want to know? Hi, everybody. This is Terry Marie. I hope everybody's had, was this the 1 week into January now?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
Yep. So happy New Year again to everybody. I said that last week, but yeah, I've been with Brian since 2014, and we always have a lot of fun. So ready to for this new year.
So, all right, Linda. So hold on, because I always go by distance first. So since Carol's the furthest, Carol can talk about where she is and what's going on. Go ahead, Carol.
Hi, I am in Seoul, South Korea. It is absolutely magical. We're 14 hours ahead of Eastern time, so it is 10 a.m. here right now. And I got off the 14-hour and 44-minute flight. Talk about an angel number. And slept for 11 hours.
Oh, wow. Don't blame you.
Yesterday, I went and did concept shopping, concept stores, absolutely magical, some beautiful boutique skincare. I'm going to have a jet lag IV here in a little bit, doing business here. and getting some self-care and medical treatments, and here with my daughter who is studying French at the French Institute with the embassy in order to be able to attend university in France.
Isn't that nice? I mean, who did you fly with, Carol?
Me, myself, and I. Yeah.
No, what airline there?
Oh, I flew with Delta. I have, that's where I carry most of my loyalty and my points majority of the time. Although loyalty doesn't always pay off anymore, they say, but
No, it doesn't.
it was a magical flight. I mean, a little bit turbulent, but considering, we went up over the Arctic Circle, and then up the coast of Japan, and we're just, it's cold, it's snowing, it's like 0 Celsius, 30 to 32 right now. But yeah, really
that's
beautiful.
Chicago weather.
Yeah.
That's a summer day in Chicago.
That is not Florida weather.
Yeah, that's why I say it's Chicago woman. That's summer in Chicago. I'm not sure if they all have jumped into the lake or the river there yet, but it's coming up, I think. I forgot what they call it.
It's so true. And Howard, I have to tell you, and all of you actually who love art, we went to this incredible coffee shop yesterday that had they have some of these around the States too, where you could go and play albums. They had MJ, and they had a beautiful slideshow of local artists and the descriptions. And some of my favorites were using cubic zirconia and diamond dust in their impasto style paintings, and just beautiful descriptions too. It was really magical to sit and watch those.
Do you know how that all started? It all started with me because I had a art piece that was hanging in my hallway for years, and it fell down.
Oh.
And when it fell down, it was an odd shape. I had it commissioned, so I had to commission another piece to be done again. And I was on the phone with the artist, giving the measurements, and I was watching QVC network, and I had a bowl of semi-precious, gemstones in a dish. And I looked over there and said, "Can you put these gemstones in my art?" And she said, "Yeah, I think I can do that." Well, I got it done. It was great. I took it to market. I showed everybody what I did. 2 years later, everybody started doing that. And it's like,
that is so amazing.
I didn't have a patent on it. I just bragged what I did. And then they just took over and started creating that kind of look. So it started with me.
Magical coffee shop in Seoul, South Korea. So there you go, Howard.
Yeah. Internationally known.
That's right.
That's true. Linda Steele, so your mom popped up. I smile when your mom pops up. I think that's great that she's watching and listening. All right, talk about you, your book, your mom, and we're going to go into gyms. When we're done with that, go ahead.
Great. So my name is Linda Steele. I'm born and raised in Chicago. I'm an international best-selling author with my book, Nerves of Steel. And it's about, I have a few people on tonight. It's about how childhood trauma affects your adult relationships. It's a pretty interesting book, but it hit international bestseller book. So that was one of my biggest claims to fame. I'm also a nationally recognized personal trainer. When I started my career back in 2004, I worked for a company, and out of 4,500 trainers, I was the #1 female trainer nationwide. And I held that position for several years, where that was about the time, about 2008 is when I went off on my own, opened up my own gym, and then opened up another gym. So I had a couple locations in Chicago with my gyms. And then I wound up getting rid of those gyms, and I started working at another gym in Itasca, which is right outside of Chicago. And I'm the senior operations manager there, and as well as personal trainer, nutrition expert, specialist in women's coaching. And I also am a co-owner for Made Meals, which is a meal prep company. It's my daughter's business, and I help her run it. She does fantastic, but we mostly service the Chicagoland area, but we also ship to the surrounding states. I have been with Brian Sebastian and Movie Reviews and More since about 2017, having a blast. We have been on all different kinds of shows, but I've been to L.A. a few times to broadcast with him, and he's been in Chicago to broadcast with me. And during COVID, we started, going heavy again, and we just been having a ball.
So I'm going to fill in the blanks on a couple of things with Linda. So, Linda, I was reminded by one of your fans who hit into me. He chased me down in Vegas. It says, "Are you on with Linda Steele?" I'm like, "Yeah." I always go, "How do you know Linda Steele?" Because I listen to the show occasionally. But he was talking about when we were at Madame Tussauds. You were there. Terry was there. Tommy was there. And Rachel was there. And it was one of the things where, remember, I dragged you down so you can get your photo with David Earnhardt Jr.?
How could I forget?
So that's what they were talking about. So I think for some strange reason, I think they think they're supposed to see you like every pre-Super Bowl commercial.
No, well, Brian, that was such a fantastic thing. So you pull me out of hair and makeup to drag me down. You're like, you need to meet Taylor Earnhardt Jr. I'm like, Brian, I don't have my makeup done yet. You're like, it doesn't matter. Put a pair of sunglasses. Here I am I have my sunglasses on because I don't have any makeup on. Pulls me out of hair and makeup. I go down and I start, and it was the wax museum. It was the Madame Wax Museum. So I think I'm standing next to the wax figure of him. And all of a sudden he comes walking out like the real him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no way. Well, that clip made the pregame for the Super Bowl that year. And so one of my friends, he was in Germany, and he messaged me and he's like, Linda, I think I just saw you on TV. And he sent me the clip. I'm like, you're kidding. I had no idea that was going to make the clip. I was so excited. I still have that. We'll have to play that one day.
I only had one person, and I had well, that's why I'm happy with what you and Howard are doing now in a different way. So Howard, we have a couple photos you sent me. Talk about this, because you were at something there.
Yeah, I was at the Nashville Antique and Garden Show, which happens every year. And that was just to get out there again, get circulation, make new connections. But the Antique and Garden Show is a really special event. You'll see things there that you'll never see in your life, and it's the cream of the crop. I mean, it's just beautiful, beautiful things. And everybody there is so knowledgeable and personable and informative on whatever you're looking at. So that's some of my two best friends that I bought some tortoiseshell pizzas from when I was younger, and they're there every single year. That's Paul Smith that helps me out. That hopefully you'll have him back on the podcast pretty soon. And it's just a major event here in Nashville.
What have you noticed since you've had your billboard up? You've been getting a lot of traffic, haven't you?
I quit my other little job I had, because I'm going into this full time. And I got up this morning and I hadn't been off Facebook all day long. In fact, I had to just barely eat to make it to the podcast. So that's a good thing. So I'm getting more and more notoriety and build up, and I expect that to even double pretty soon.
That's good. Wow. Hey, Terry, you were talking about, because I wanted to make this show about us. I didn't want to, there was a couple of people who wanted to come on. I'm like, you know what? I think we just should talk about the things we've all been doing, because everybody's been doing many things, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it. So I left it like this. So Terry, talk about, and I'm glad that you didn't go down to the L.A.FitExpo, and I could talk about it because I was there. But, I'm always about telling people, when you go to support events, because a lot of people may be strapped for cash, you got to pick the right events. So Terry, talk about how we used to go to L.A.FitExpo. It used to be fun, didn't it?
Well, I haven't been since COVID, but that's
the last time it was fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I was going to FitExpo, I was competing too at the same time. So I was working with some sponsors that I had, so it was more of like a family thing. So I don't know. I mean, if I'm going to choose the fitness events I'm going to go to, I think the Olympia is on the top of my list. Or if I'm doing a show, I mean, I don't know. I mean, a lot of things I think with trade shows in general, even in my business on the medical side, have slowed down since COVID. The attendance is just not you don't see that energy that you used to see at the trade shows for some reason. I don't really know why. I just noticed it on the medical side a lot. I don't know if you're seeing that everywhere, Brian. I don't really know.
I am seeing it everywhere, and I'm telling people constantly, because a lot of these people, Carol knows this because she and I talk about this all the time, they're not traveling. They're not like what Carol is picking up and just going and getting things done. If I'm going cross country to the events, I always tell people it's expensive to do these things. It's not like the old days where you can just pick up and go. Now you got to and we're all older. Even though we're older doesn't make us any less. It's just how you take care of your body. As Linda, I'm getting ready to ask Linda something in a minute. But the reason why I asked Terry about FitExpo, because when I went for one day, it's $35 to get in.
And then parking.
2 days is $80 to get in for both days. And then the first thing I noticed when I went in there, they didn't want to have press. I didn't see any Dan Kennedy, Terry. So when I went there, I saw big recruitment for LAPD, the sheriffs, LA Port Authority, Culver City Police. I'm like, well, that was just that one aisle. And then I went down the next aisle and I see the U.S. Army, I see the Navy, I see the Coast Guard, I see the Marines, and I saw somebody else. And I said, that's just recruitments. And then I'm like, okay, that's not what I want to see. That's I'm not in their age demo, but I thought that was interesting. And then Linda, I saw more women who in the world of fitness who had baby strollers, who didn't look like they were in fitness, but were wearing fitness garb. And I said, okay, now I'm looking. So I was the guy. We're all straight black guy. So we're all attractive women who are in the fitness world. I did not see one. Well, actually, I saw one. Mary. Mary was there, Carol. We just bypassed each other.
What about Susan? Susan was there, right?
Susan and one other girl. But as far as, people who are going to the gym every day.
Well, there's also, it used to be a lot of the fitness personalities would be at the FitExpo, and then there would be a lot of their fan base there. But I don't think as many of those influencers are not. Well, I don't know with influencers or fitness personalities are going to them as much as they were. I don't know. Did you notice that? I mean, I wasn't at this show, so I don't know.
Well, I told her not to come down because she's out more distance, and this is what I tell people. It's like going to the movie theaters these days. Last year 5,000 movies theater closed. So now you're going to drive a distance, but are you going to drive just to go see any movie? No. Are you going to drive to go to any convention? The thing is no, and especially if you're going with a significant other, because it's expensive for one. And so when I'm seeing these things cross country, I'm like, I always warn people. Go ahead, Carol, you're going to say something.
It really seems like they were leaving a ton of money on the table just in the lead up and the dealings, because shout out to Susan Irby, the bikini chef. She's, what age she is, and she still looks fabulous in a bikini and works out all the time. But it was an interesting dynamic leading up to the event itself, and just, from a business perspective, could easily see that they were leaving tons of money on the table. And that was surprising.
They were going after the people who could afford it, like the armed services and those police departments for recruiting. And I have my own opinion on it, which I'm not going to share it. I usually share everything on a Tuesday.
Do you know if the booth spaces have gone up? Because that's going to affect a lot of the
here's what I do know. When you have less vendors going in, you're going to give them a little bit more space. So that's what I've been noticing, not only there, L.A.Art Show, and at CES. I did notice this because I could tell when I walk in and I see a whole section where they put a food cart there. They've been doing that at the L.A.Art Show. They've been doing that at the fitness show. They've been doing that at CES, because I can tell, and I actually take photos. And other people, if they don't notice what I notice, because I've been doing this for a long time, but I notice these things. And then when someone wants to go and put their money to show something. Let's say if Linda Steele wanted to bring in, her daughter wanted to go and bring macrame, meals and then get a booth and then travel and ship all this stuff. Well, one, it's expensive. And I'm always looking out, is it worth their time to do that? And I want to save people money when it comes to that.
You have to do a return on investment, and if the audience is not there, then you're throwing away all the advertising money that you've got, set aside for things like that. So, I mean, even even corporate, whether we're small business or corporate, you have to do a return on investment if these things are worth going to or not. Because if you're not going to get that audience there, you're just burning money that could be going to other events or other marketing. Yeah. So that's,
I will say, shout out to Heather Mariana and her Oscars and Emmys gifting suite. That has had a tremendous return on investment. I highly recommend, if you have something like the macrame mills, I would definitely get in touch with her. She'd be great to talk to.
And which one is that?
Heather Mariana, Mariana Group, and she's got she may have a waiting list now, but she's got the Oscars gifting suite coming up.
I think you may have put me in touch with her.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And I don't recall where it left off, but yeah, I could reach out to her again.
And then, so the reason why those things are important, because it's about money, and I think that Howard could tell you, if you saw a big crowd to where you were this past weekend for the events you were at, see, that's good.
Oh,
did you know what ticket prices were?
It was unbelievable. Pardon?
You know what ticket prices were to get in?
I think I was a senior citizen. I think it was around 40 for me, but it's for all 3 days of the event. And I went all 3 days.
Yeah.
And then they had a special 150 opening party that was like cocktails and all dressed up and all that. That was the day before. I was amazed at the number of red dots that things have sold during that cocktail party. And then through the event, people were buying, coming and going. And then at the end of the very last day, I saw 3 booths completely wiped out of everything they had. I had one lady, she was standing there. I said, "What are you going to do tomorrow? You got no place to sit or anything." Because she completely sold out by the last day. So,
and that's what you want.
Yeah. Well, I think what's happened is I also went to market the very next day. And what I've noticed in the retail market on the furniture bit, I guess because of imports and things like that, prices have really jumped a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think people are returning more for an investment type on antiques and art and things like that are expensive, but they hold their value and they go up in value. Not that I'm against anything new, because I like the mix of everything too, but I can see a younger generation that's a little wiser and like, I do need to mix in a little bit with the new, with the old, because that old is going to gain value, and it's why the rich get rich. They pass it on down. Then the next family can build a bigger house, and they don't have to buy all that stuff to go in it. And I can see how the modern industry, like the homes have become so gigantic and big. They got big sectionals and big credenzas, and the prices are like $8,000 to $15,000 for a sofa or a sectional. And so everything seems to be a norm between 8 and 15 on anything you buy. I mean, even chairs were like new chairs are about $3,000 each. So if you're spending 10 and 15 every time you have to buy something, it doesn't take long. You have no money. So I guess that's why there's big houses with this minimalist look, because you can't put much stuff in there at those prices, But me, I'd rather have it smaller and get the expensive stuff. That's just me. Of course, I would like
I think you bring up some beautiful points, Howard. I think you bring up some beautiful points in terms of actually building wealth. Wealth is assets. It's not currency. Currency is a part of wealth, but currency is a small part of wealth. And we think of income or having money as being wealth. So I really love the way you address that, because right now I think people are very much interested in building assets and building wealth with what's going on in the economy.
True. And with I myself bought a painting when I was in my 20s that is what I just recently sold and came into quite a bit of money, and that's what I'm reinvesting in myself.
Yeah.
So that was a great return on an investment, and I just happen to know what I know, and knowing doing your homework behind it is part of it. So, or hiring somebody like me that knows investment quality versus just decorative quality.
If you look at ancient families of Europe that survived, like the Medicis, for instance, who survived, the Dark Ages, much less recessions and on and on. It's been through those assets that you're talking about, and that ROI you just gained from the asset you sold. So I think it's really powerful what you're talking about, speaking into.
Thank you, Carol.
Linda, when you had your gyms and then you left and then people came and followed you, which people will always follow you because of who you are and what you've done, that's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Talk about why that's good, because when I was at FitExpo, I was thinking of you. I'm like, Linda's in Chicago and she could be here competing the way she looks. Even the women that I saw on stage, I'm like, they couldn't hold to what I see, what you're doing a candle to. And I thought that was interesting. Talk about how women's bodies and men's bodies you're seeing changing who are going into the gym compared to maybe 10 years ago, because I'm curious about this.
The gym that I work in, I don't see a lot of that there. We're an amenity to the businesses in the area. So it's mostly people who are working full time and they come in on their lunch hour, they come in after work, they come before work. So we do have outside, we're open to the public as well, but a majority of our members are tenants, and so their fitness isn't really their thing. They're just there to stay and be healthy. But when I do go to other gyms and I see people who are not as lean as we were back in the day, or I still am, I think there was a shift in the industry right around 2000, probably 2011, 12, 13. And that's when a lot of fitness trainers were online. And there wasn't that one-on-one with your personal trainer anymore. You were taking classes online and you were getting a trainer online. A lot of it was free. And so what a lot of people wound up doing is they were cherry picking the things that they love best about different people and different trainers and different influencers. And let's be honest, a lot of influencers they're just influencers. They're not certified for fitness. So I think when you don't have that one-on-one with a personal trainer who is doing your nutrition plan, which is so important, and who isn't there to make sure that you're staying on track with your routine. Again, people go in the gym and they dilly-dally on, this piece of equipment and that piece of equipment, and they're not working any one muscle group long enough or hard enough to actually make a difference in it. So, they're skipping around, they're doing a circuit and they're doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So I think some of it is just they're just not educated like they were back in the day when your only option was to stand in front of a trainer and pay them, $50 to $150 an hour. We just don't see as much of that anymore.
Terry, you're going to say something? Go ahead, followed by Howard.
No, I just want to, I'm a gym rat. Like, I'm in the gym every day. I'm just saying, like, in here where I live, I've noticed actually a good trend. I'm seeing more older people in the gym and in better shape than I ever have ever. But I don't know if that's a California thing, but I'm telling you right now, the older population, I'm seeing them taking better care of themselves than I did 10 years ago. Because I didn't used to see older people at the gym, like, guys in their 70s are lifting weights. And that to me is a very positive thing, because the older we get, the more muscle that we need to do. But I do agree with Linda that, 80% of your fitness is going to be your diet. Your abs are made in the kitchen. So if you're having a diet, you're not going to see the results that you're going to want to be seeing. But I definitely do see a shift in more older people investing in their health than ever before in California. So I can't speak for, other areas of the country. I'm just saying what I see in LA, Central California, even up in Pismo Beach area, that these people are more fit older.
Yeah.
So I just want
Howard.
I was going to say, I think it's part of social media because going through the mall, you see overweight models advertising underwear at Victoria's Secret. You see the magazines, they're not in shape, even in the ads. And it's like, well, what are you aspiring to? I like what one person I read said, why is it fine to have an overweight underwear model, and you don't see an underwear model man with a big pot belly over his, So it's like, you're just making it like more acceptable to be out of shape. You're still beautiful, even if you're out of shape. So you don't really have a role model to aspire to. You're just being accepted for who you are, which is fine too, but it's also unhealthy. And that doesn't give you an excuse to be that way.
Well, we have an Ozempic problem in California. So
everywhere.
I'm seeing people they're not in shape, they're too skinny. They're that skinny fat. And that's what I'm seeing a lot here in California, because it doesn't look good. So there's
it's interesting coming from the modeling industry. In the modeling industry, we're not talking about pret-a-porter or ready to wear. You have to fit into a 0 to 2 because that's the way that they do it for the shows. And so you have to be fit within what's available to wear and what the designers are putting forth. But what's happened in that, the negativity that has happened, it's been tremendous number of abuse, tremendous amount of abuse and number of eating disorders through that. There's the bikini chef. Hello, my girl, Susan. Shout out. And they're going the other direction now to give women more of a realistic
but they're going to size 12 and 14. Go to 4, 6, and no higher than an 8.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Even the
just going from one extreme to the next. That's right.
I've started listening to some music.
That's what my point was. Sorry. Yeah.
I started listening to some music lyrics. Sometimes I just kind of sing along, but I don't really listen to the words. And I happen to listen to some words of some music lyrics, and I'm hearing like them people hating on the skinny bitches. And I'm like, what? Like, what if we were hating on the fat bitches? How would that be?
Yeah, then you're a horrible person.
So when I was listening, I'm like, oh, hold on a minute. This is not okay. Why are we all singing along?
It's like it's swinging. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're all right. Let me tell you what I saw since I crossed the country a lot. So, Linda, as I was walking and going through these things, usually would take me 2 days to get to the LA FitExpo. 2 days. It took me 45 minutes to get down every aisle.
Wow.
Because when you have all the recruitments that I named off first, and then you have all the subs here, try this shot of energy stuff. Because the last time I did that at Olympia, I walked out of there and I couldn't sleep. And I'm like, why can't I sleep? Then I realized that all the shots of energy things that I took, that they're all different. And I'm like, why is my heart racing? Because I didn't think about it. I'm like, let me try this one. Oh, this one's good. This one's not. And they were giving me things. And I'm walking out of there with armfuls of things that I don't know. And I'm immediately giving it to anybody I see is homeless or someone who needs something to drink.
Then you're going to have all the homeless people like,
they were going to say, here, Brian. And then what happens is they always look us up. This is where you guys have your fans. They always look who look us up and say, oh, I know her and I know Linda. Oh, I see Howard. He's always the dapper guy. He's always dressed well. And even my mouth drops sometimes because, like I said, I never always know who's listening around the world. But when they run up to us, I'm like, they are. They're listening on the audio side. They're listening through Siri. They're listening to different channels. And, Carol and I talk about this all the time. And going into this, Sylvester Stallone was art there. He did it back in
Nice.
2009, 2010. So that one was from Cobra. Wizard of Oz is at the Spear. So I liked the background. So I did this. This is at the Venetian. And then Chef Fresh says hi. He wants to be on the show. Now I think we can get him just due to his schedule. And I said, I never see him wear this. I'm like, Chef, I got to take a picture of you. So we did. And that was the last day. And it was good. He had a line. He stayed and autographed everybody's thing. And then as Carol was saying, Susan Irby did a great job, Bikini Chef. So they had more guys coming in. You can hold that photo for a minute. They had more guys coming in because they were really interested. So they were the girls were grabbing guys who were in shape and making them pose with the dresses. And then this girl, she's from on the left-hand side. She's gorgeous. I thought she was 27. No, she's a mom of 3. And I was like, look at
a shout out to Couture Aprons. Couture Aprons is a sponsor of America's Next Bikini Chef.
Those are adorable.
So those made those. You should see the rest of them. So all the girls were there. There was like 5 of them total all together, and we're good. And I took single photos of the stuff. We'll show a little bit more next week. So whatever else Rebel has in there is good. But it was good because when I can go through half of the show on the L.A.Art side and then finish the next half, that's a good thing. So I took clips like this. And then what I noticed, Howard, this time I was telling them about you, like, I love that one. I like things like that, is that the artists, I walk through the halls, no matter what hall, with my headphones on. I need to get back down there as quick as I can to see what's going on. And they will stop me when it comes to the things. This may be B-roll of the CES. So jumping into the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas. Go ahead, you can roll it, Rebel. This is all behind the scenes stuff under there. So the thing about this is, that's funny. And by the way, Terry, a lot of people were complimenting you.
On what?
The way you look. But we're going to go back to that in a minute.
Oh, okay.
So I boxed with this. Yes.
Wow.
Now, the thing about all of that is humans are in for trouble because there's not a robot that I saw that could not do anything. I'm talking about not only playing ping pong and kickboxing and running track and cooking, changing a tire, cutting an apple with a slice with a knife, doing selfies, all those jobs that are being laid off. And I kept telling people going back to 2018, and the movies that I've seen where they take over, I was like, yeah, okay. I saw more Waymos there, and the Zoink truck that I found in 2018, I saw it driving in front of Trump Towers 4 or 5 times, and they were testing them down the side street where you walk down Trump Towers to get over the Trump Towers in Vegas. And this was at 11:30, 11:45, and I kept watching them go by. Every couple minutes, they were going by and testing the distance of them. And, you know, I purposely was taking the taxis because I wanted to help the taxi drivers out. And I spent way too much money on lifts, which was, I'm not doing that again, which is why I love my scooter and walking fast. But, you know, last year, there was only 3 robotic companies. This year, there was over 20.
Yeah.
And so, yes, AI is there, but it's what they're doing and what you're seeing or may not be seeing that concern me. And these are really good.
Brian, they're getting more sophisticated and they will continue to do so. But at this point, they're doing tasks, great tasks. But I think rather than approaching it with fear, we need to understand that our human brains are still vastly, vastly more sophisticated. Our reasoning capabilities, and that's been proven out over and over and over again at this point. So I think there's
I don't see that. There's a lot of dumb people out there because they're not going and they're not studying anymore. They're not.
Yeah.
You know, they're not reading books. You know, Linda spent a lot of money on her books, and that's why we talk about these things. You know, I want people to go to the libraries. Go ahead, Howard. You're going to say something.
I also see people come more and more reliable on their phones and their computers and their iPad.
That's a problem.
Had to sign something. Well, I haven't signed something in years. I didn't even like my handwriting, and I used to know how to write. If you don't use it, you lose it. So if you're not using your brain to remember a phone number or remember simple math or remember anything, and you're relying on what that phone tells you to do or your calendar, your mind's going to get weaker and weaker. I'm sorry, it is.
That's exactly what that is, because there's too many people relying on technology. And Carol knows this. I write every single movie that I've been seeing down since 1992, because in 1991 I saw a lot of movies and I didn't know what the count was. I still do that. So I'm constantly using that, and I write notes down on my to-do list every night, every day, so I can cross them off the list the next day. So but the reason I say there's a lot of dumb people out there, because there are. They're not studying.
There always have been.
But they're worse. They are worse. They don't know. They know what they know from YouTube. Yeah, that's not necessarily good.
I agree, Brian. I agree.
Yeah.
I was,
you know that. Go ahead, Linda.
You told me to talk about my mom tonight, so I wanted to tell you that I spent some time with her today, as a matter of fact, and she actually started talking about AI. She scrolls on Facebook, you know, at night, and Instagram, and she said, you know, there are either ads on there or it's all AI, and it's really frustrating because, you know, what is happening? And it made me think, no wonder the actors were all up in arms when was it so many years ago about it. I thought, why do they care? I didn't realize that we were going to be making films with fake people in them, and they look so real. And I even have friends who have songs on Spotify. They made songs through AI and they have them on Spotify.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe what's happening. I don't like it.
You can still make the real song though. Yes, that's available, but you can still make the real one. And we have a natural negativity bias built in. And if you give us 10 pieces of information, brain safety is going to cause us to look at 9 of them through a negative lens. Once you're aware of that, you can turn things around, start to put it to work for you. So, you know, there was tons of fear out there. Not only from there's still people that believe the world is flat, believe it or not.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
A lot.
There's a lot.
And there's tons of people that were super afraid of CERN and that we were going to create a black hole and Y2K. And so to me, like, we're still actively manifesting. We're still actively creating our reality. So what part are we taking and participating in the reality that we want, despite a few people at the top defining an AI generation for us? So that's kind of where I'm coming from on that. That is where I'm coming from on that.
Yeah. But on the other hand, look how many jobs are going away.
Yeah.
But you can build houses 24 hours if you got robots doing it. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
if nobody makes money, who's going to have money to buy anything? I mean, in the furniture business like I am, I could tell a difference when things went to China. And
Yeah.
there was I mean, it's good in one hand, but bad on the other. So yes, you are going to advance. You are going to make things cheaper and more affordable. But yet again, it's still going to be expensive because nobody's making money. If you don't spend it, nobody makes it. So who's going to be able to buy all this stuff? Like I said, when I went into Atlanta market, prices are dramatically higher than they were 5 years ago. Dramatically. And it's like, has your income gone up that much in 5 years? I don't think so.
Well, a lot of people who are in the upper echelon, yes. The people who are in the middle, no. And I'm seeing that because when I'm talking to these people, the people from Asia, because let me tell you, Linda, when I saw a bunch of toys last year, the Tony boxes they've been there the last 3 years, but I saw more toy companies at CES this year spread around. I actually counted them because that's why I walked down every aisle. I'm like, why are they here? I'm like, are you guys going to Toy Fair in New York too? Oh yeah, we're going there, but that's all they're going to, because they have to change things around because they got hit by tariffs coming out of China. And then all the AI companies that I saw, not one of them was American, not one. They were all Asian. And I talked to them. They came up to me because they saw the press thing, which is why I walked down the aisles with my headphones so I can see stuff. But my rule is, if you stop me, I'm going to talk to you. And then I'm going to ask you every single question. I only talk to the inventors, the founders, and the CEOs for those reasons, because I want access to them. I got access to all of those people. And that's why I take those photos like that. Because it'll be like another year or two when people start to see the things that I've already seen or stuff that I saw. I had 2 more people, adults. I don't know if you see the Carol probably has seen them, where you can ride on the small little suitcases and put your feet up, and it just guides you around. I saw 2 adults doing that who should not be on those small things, but they didn't want to walk. Meanwhile, Linda and Terry, I walked over 113,000 steps in 9 days.
That's what you need to be doing.
I was so exhausted on Saturday night at 10:30 after I saw my Greek godmother. I fell face down in the hotel mattress, and I didn't wake up until 6 o'clock in the morning.
Same.
I was knocked out, and I was like, man, I can't keep this pace up. Go ahead, Howard.
Brian, remember the gentleman we had on the show that had the dog toy that acted like a real dog?
Oh, yes. Well, yes.
And how expensive that was? I just saw it on Facebook. You can get one for $50. And that was just a year ago that he had it out. And now somebody's knocked it off, made it very affordable, that did what he did a year ago. So even though they're coming out with it, people copy it. People do it just like they did that art idea I had. You post it out there, it's open to the world to do anything else after that.
Let me tell you what Tom did.
They're just going to do a cheap version of it.
Well,
exactly. But the cheap version would probably be more affordable, make more money than the high.
Exactly, because you can sell it in mass production.
But here's the thing. This is why we talk about those inventors, those founders, those CEOs, those people who created it. So Tom Stevens, who created Jenny, when we were talking about last week, now he has a waiting list of 21,000 people. But his is the first one. So today he was going to be on the show tonight. That's why I didn't advertise him, because he was on the Today's show and he wasn't sure if he can make it, but he wants to. He was one of the last interviews I did. And you can get that Jenny one, which he created, American made. That's the difference. American made. And it's very, very good. But the exposure he got the last 2 years is golden. He was so, so happy. And I couldn't be happier for our friend, because he came on our show first last January. And that was just one. Birdfly, Linda, I took photos for you specifically. I'll show them next week of what her booth looked like. And she kicked ass on that the last 2 years. Oh, both award winners, we both debuted them on our show. And I'm very happy about that. So they'll be coming back. Hey, we got 60 seconds. Terry, give them social media links for you.
Terry Marie Nonstop on all platforms.
And hey, and start subscribing to her. And Terry, so your little short is at 1.8 million since May. I can't believe
Congratulations.
That.
Wow.
Howard Wiggins.
Howard Wiggins, Facebook, Instagram. I also got a Howard Wiggins fan book page that just came out. So
You know
follow
what's
me
funny
there
about
too.
that? I almost subscribed to his fan page.
Yeah, and Howard Wiggins Interior Design. And I'm talking tomorrow about linking all that together, so it just creates more. That's it.
Linda Steele.
Linda Steele Wellness on all platforms.
Carol.
Put a www in front of my website, https www success uniquely yours. And by the way, it's low season here. The dollar is amazing, and they are incredibly well known for stem cell treatments and beauty care treatments. So it's a perfect time to come.
Yeah, that's why I was talking to a lot of my Korean friends. I was having Korean barbecue with a lot of them. That was fun. I had beer with the Belgians. They invited us to Brussels, so that was fun. Through San Francisco, through the Consulate General. The Italians, I didn't really see too much there, but I'm dealing with them now. So it was fun. I think I hit 7 countries while I was at CES.
I've had Korean barbecue twice. It was heavenly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, so I'm glad we could make it about us for once. It's not easy because we're always booked. So I apologize for that. And that's why I had to hold off 2 people because they wanted to come on. Tom from Tombot was one of the people. I was like, Tom, we'll get you back on. Do your Today interview. I couldn't be happy for Jenny and all of the stuff that go on because it's American made. So got to thank everybody who's always watching and listening to us around the world. And I always say this to our friends. Subscribe to them, like what they're doing, follow them, and you know what? Have a good night tonight and a better day tomorrow. You see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian. We are Movie Reviews and More, and I couldn't be happier to have my friends be part of all the stuff that what we're doing. And we will see you next week.